Alright guys, after a very long time I've started making podcasts again, and today I have a very special guest with me. His name is Mr.Pierre Leung.
Yep.
He is an owner of a property consultancy. It's situated in Asok, and then we sort of met each other not in this area. We met in Toastmasters, right?
Toastmasters.
Yeah. So Pierre, how have you been?
Very, very good. Thank you for coming all the way to interview me, Siddharth.
Oh, thanks man. How was the day?
It was good. Busy as always. The property market, usually in Bangkok, is always very, very active.
Mm-hmm.
So we have clients come in and out, and all my guys are usually out and about doing business.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's nice. So what did you do this morning?
In the morning, usually most of my work tends to be business development related.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it has to do with consulting with foreign buyers, consulting with our landlords, and also managing the team.
Mm-hmm.
I run a team of agents,
Mm-hmm.
both for sales and rentals.
Mm-hmm.
And usually I have to see how they're doing with their clients, see if they're up to date with their conversions, and just the general sales management.
Oh, that's nice. And the agents that work for your firm, are they from the same ethnicity, or I guess they're from different ethnicities as well?
Well, I am not Thai, even though I'm doing business in Thailand. I should say all my guys are Thai.
Mm-hmm.
They obviously all come from different parts of Thailand. They usually tend to be between sort of the ages of 20 all the way up to 40. That's sort of the property agent age.
Okay.
They still have enough energy to run around, but have the experience to sort of engage with our clients. So mostly Thai, to answer your question.
Have you ever encountered a situation where there has been a problem due to the beliefs and ethnicity, culture? I mean, have you ever encountered something like that?
The thing I struggled with the most is being a foreign manager in Thailand. I was working in London, and I think I'm quite Western in my outlook.
Approaches.
Yes, I'm a very direct sort of person. But then the first time I started to deal with Thais in my organization, in my team, I learned that being too direct isn't always a good thing, especially in Thailand. You have to be a bit softer, a little bit more patient with certain things. You can't be too aggressive. I tend to be an aggressive type of person.
You just want to get the job done.
Yes.
Okay.
So I get on the phone, do you want to buy, yes or no? That kind of Wolf of Wall Street type stuff.
That's what I was going to say.
But it's not seen as a good thing to be too assertive. Yeah. Not in a bad way. I think it's great because people are very polite. But being too assertive, too direct, sometimes people shy away from that. Yeah.
Or maybe you could be just a bit more polite, right?
I've learned to adapt. I haven't lost my edge, my bite. I do like getting things done fast, but I've learned to be a little bit more patient, a little bit more fluid. It's like I think Bruce Lee said, be water, my friend. When you pour water into a glass into a teapot, it takes the shape of whatever it goes into. Be water, my friend. Here you are, the water. So that's basically it. I've learned to be a bit more fluid in the way I do business and I interact with people here.
Okay. So as you said, you haven't had many problems related to ethnicity.
Ethnicity is just cultural. It's not so much ethnicity. It's more cultural, Western, Asian culture. Yeah.
So, but you said you have a workforce from around 20 to 40.
Not 20 to 40. I wish I was that big. The biggest we've ever been is about 8 to 10 guys. At the moment...
No. I was talking about the age group.
Oh, age group, yes. Between 20 to 40. Go ahead, sorry.
No problem. Has there ever been a time like a 35-year-old is trying to teach a 25-year-old, or maybe more than teach, dominating a 25-year-old. So what do you do to solve that problem?
In Thailand, age is very important. I don't know if you've noticed this. People use Nong and P. So if you're older, they will call you P. Sudev. If you are older, you would call me Pierre, and I'm the other way around. My very first guy happened to be way older than me at the time when I started. I believe, if I remember correctly, I was about 26, but he was already in his 30s, and there was that clash. There was this ego about him, like, oh, go do this for me, and he wouldn't do it immediately. There was definitely that clash. But
would he feel insulted?
He felt insulted a lot of times. Simple things like, oh, I'm busy, could you go meet this person? And he would get he would have a little bit of an ego, but I think it's a bit normal, if you're older, you've seen the world, and then you have a younger kid telling you what to do, and culturally you're used to that, P older, non younger, it's normal that you have that conflict.
But don't you think that people should actually respect skill more than age?
I agree. I have this mindset that as long as you have that expertise, as long as you are an expert, I will listen to you. You can be my leader. I don't mind being modest if someone is actually better at something than you. But it's a cultural thing. It's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's not a good thing, but wherever you are, you need to learn to adapt, and I've learned to adapt here.
That's nice, because as far as my story goes, when I was in school, I was always taught to respect someone older than me, and that's a good thing, that's perfectly fine. But in schools, they never taught us the importance of skill. They told us that it's always important to have good grades, it's always important to earn money, it's always the traditional jargon, I would say. But then they never explain the importance of expertise in something. They never explain the importance of skill. And today, I think that's the problem why people get angry while talking to someone younger. Now, I'm not good at everything. You're good at real estate. I might be good at photography, videography. We both can have a chat and learn from each other, but for example, suppose you become egocentric, and I try to teach you photography, and you have that traditional mindset. You'll not even try to learn because of that ego, and I think that's one of the reasons why people don't really learn. I guess people need to grow up from that.
I agree. I mean, what you're saying is definitely right, and I think with my mindset, I agree that if someone has the skill at doing something, you should kind of step back, shut up, and listen to that person. The only thing is, one thing I've learned, because above all things, I'm a manager, and when I started my career, I was in sales. It's not so much about being understood, it's about understanding people. If culturally they are that way, you're going to have to find another way to communicate to that person. You can't fight fire with fire, put it that way. You can't tell the person who's disagreeing with you, shut up, I've got this girl.
Shut up.
Because you come across as a bully, even though you are right, you'll come across as a bully. You have to learn to be smart in the way you interact with people. This is the way I feel. But then I think some people have a Steve Jobs attitude. They will shut your mouth, fool. You listen to me, I have the skills. And I mean, that's the way some people do it, but I think it's important to be a bit smooth with the way you interact. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you disagree?
No, I don't disagree, but that's a good approach to people.
How would you deal with someone who you have the skill, but that person is telling you to listen to him?
Shut up! Anyways, so you are handling a firm right now, you're living your life, and you've got so many employees under you. I'm in college and I'm about to graduate. So I want to know something. I want to learn something from you. How much has your college degree helped in handling human resources?
This is an interesting question. I think university is important, but not necessarily because of all the courses you take. I will be honest, a lot of the theoretical stuff I learned, like SWOT analysis, PEST, Blue Ocean strategy, Red Ocean strategy, is great. It's nice to know, but then once you go into the real world, everything goes out the window. You think I'm going to do a marketing plan, and then it turns out you have a marketing plan, but the clients aren't coming in. You're going to have to learn to think on your feet. What I did learn from college is to see that there's a lot of different ways to do something, to be like water. Because when I did marketing management, so just like you, I was a business school graduate, but I took many different courses. So there was finance, there was accounting, there was management, there was marketing, and I learned that each field of study has a different way of thinking, a different way of doing. Another thing that you learn in university is you meet a lot of different people. You party with a lot of people. And when you have drinks with a lot of different people, you learn that certain jokes you can't say with certain people. Certain ways of talking doesn't go well with that person. Or that way of talking, you get along with certain people. So you learn to think in a variety of ways, and you meet so many people, you have that life skill. Because in high school, even though you are an adult, you're 18, 19, you go to university. In most countries, 18, 19, you can have a drink, you can go out, you're free to leave the house, but you're still not an adult yet. I think when you go to uni, you learn
how to live like an adult.
You live like an adult. You learn to have real life experiences. So that's what I learned from you.
That's nice. The thing that I've learned from university is that most of the times your superior is bluffing. And when professors bluff that this is the deadline, and then if you don't do your assignment, they're most probably going to shift it. That's what I've learned. One thing. Second thing, it's always important to choose your project partner
Carefully. Very carefully.
Very, very carefully. Because he or she might disappear. And they might not even care about their grades. But you, on the other hand, you have to get those A's on your on the sheet. And if you choose your partner in a very, very haphazardous way, you might end up with a very bad grade. So we learn something from colleges and universities, but I guess it's not enough for the real life.
So are you a good student then?
Depends what's the subject.
What's the subject? So you party a lot then?
Carrying
You
on.
don't need to answer that.
Carrying on. So you have had a lot of years of experience. I guess we were talking before this podcast, and you said you had around 4.5 years of experience.
When in this business, yes.
In this business.
Yes.
You must have seen a lot of fights.
A lot of, sorry?
I mean, a lot of fights, a lot of unintentional actions. Now, in those unintentional actions, whenever a person is, suppose he's doing things meticulously, or he's just being rough with others, how do you find the reason for those actions? I mean, there might be a fight in his house, or he must not have good things happening in his life. How do you find out those reasons?
You think you can control a person. You think that you can find the reason for them being angry, for them being happy. The problem is that humans are irrational at their basic nature. You and I are having a conversation right now, and we might seem rational, but then something might happen in your life and you might lose your temper. I've lost my temper before. To be honest, it's not so much about trying to understand and getting results fast. It's about slowing down and letting everyone calm down. then and there, when someone is angry or unhappy, you're not going to find a solution. You can understand him. You can tell him you understand. You can understand his reasons, but you can't solve his problem, because to him, his problem is the biggest problem in the world at that moment. I don't know if that makes sense.
I get it.
But I've learned to slow it down. If you need to talk to him another day, talk to him another day. After a night's rest, people start to get a little bit more calm. After they have lunch, some people are hungry, you know, they need lunch, and you let them have lunch and they're fine. You need to let it go sometimes and come back another day. That's the way I deal with the problem.
So you're telling me to let it go, give it time.
Give that person time, give yourself time, because you don't know whether you are acting rationally. Everyone thinks they think rationally until they don't, and then
That's right.
Then you have a problem.
But if there's a project you need to rush in, then you can't give him time. What do you do then?
Would I have a lot of people in the team, or it's only him and me?
Only you and him.
I do that, and I really don't think it's the best way. I would do the work. I would do the extra work. I would go the extra mile. I tend to believe in my own abilities. So while the team is important, I tend to believe if that person's not going to do what he needs to do, I will do it instead. But I think the answer most people want to hear is, you sort through their problems. The problem is, dealing with other people, I realize not everyone thinks the same way. In that moment, not everyone is rational. Dealing with humans is difficult. Doing business is easy. Dealing with people is difficult. But most businesses is about dealing with people. So that's why business is difficult.
And the best or the worst, it's up to you. The part is that you have to deal with human beings.
Exactly. I mean, there's nothing bad about it. It's a lot of fun. I think that's the joy of being a manager. That's the joy of being an entrepreneur, dealing with different kind of people who don't want to do what you want them to do. And you have to convince them to sell them on your vision. That's the fun part, but it's also the challenge.
How good is your Thai?
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's below average. I get by. I can tell a taxi driver, Leo Sai, Leo Kwa.
Leo Kwa, Tong.
Kampai.
Right. So you must have had a lot of communication problems with your employees.
Yes. You can't. People, when they try to learn a new language, they try to translate word for word. So water, nakao. That's easy because it's one word, but then a sentence, you can't translate it
properly. And every time it's different on Google Translate.
Yes, but then it extends to things like humor, anger, how do you express anger when you're a Westerner and when you're Thai. I won't swear on camera, but swear words in English is a bit diluted. If you swear, people are, okay, whatever. But here, if you swear in Thai,
there's a lot of Muay Thai then.
Exactly, a lot of Muay Thai.
Yeah. So, how did you close the communication? Have you closed the communication gap with your employees?
Yes and no. The yes is I make an effort. If the person has English problems, I slow down my English. I try to put some Thai, so I Tinglish. I combine it together. But I am lucky that most of my guys are fully bilingual, so I tend to hire people who have that English Thai. At least the English proficiency needs to be at a certain level. So I never dealt with a team member who was only Thai speaking. And I think that would be an enormous challenge for me. But I'm lucky. I have a great team, and all of them are bilingual.
In Thailand, I've seen it's not difficult to find internships if you know Thai. If you are a foreigner and if you know Thai. So, are there any tips to the foreigners outside who want internship over here?
Over here, getting an internship? I think don't be shy about it. Some foreigners, they will tend to be very conventional in the way they ask for an internship. They will only go through the newspapers and look at the classifieds. They will just go on the websites and be polite. There's nothing wrong with knocking on the door and giving a CV. I have had friends who got full-time jobs doing that. I know it takes a lot of nerves, but then think about it. Most candidates, especially the foreigners, they will end up sending an email and they will hope to hear back. If, say, you want a sales job and you go into that company and you say, here, this is my CV and I want a job, you will make an impressive impression. And I think so few candidates do that. If you want an internship in whatever field you want, just go to that company and give you a CV. But it depends on how much you want that internship, I guess.
And in Southeast Asia, as much as I've seen, people have to be there to make an impact. I mean, sure, electronic media is there. You can email someone, you can WhatsApp someone, line. That's there. But to have an impact, I guess it's always better to be with the person. Right?
Meeting people here, human contact is important. I think that, say when I was in the UK, you could email and just do calls and you could do business that way. Here, meeting is important, getting to know someone is important. I think Asians like to have that human contact. It is important. I agree, 100%.
100%. So is there anything you would like to ask me?
How long have you been doing this?
Videography.
The videography. I get to be the interviewer now.
Alright, so it started, I guess well, I wasn't continuously doing this, but I guess the first video I ever recorded was an unboxing video. I got this PS Vita from, my dad brought it from the US. I was unboxing it and it wasn't so good. The inspiration of me getting into videography, proper videography, was when I started watching Peter McKinnon videos. Have you watched his videos?
No, but keep going. Just keep going.
Okay. So the vloggers that you see now, 2 or 3 years ago, you might have seen vlogs weren't there 2 or 3 years ago. People wouldn't vlog so much, but nowadays you see a lot of slow-mos, a lot of fast videos, creative videos. So one of the people who brought this change was Peter McKinnon. So he was like the guy who brought this into the hemisphere. People knew about that before. They knew about slow motions, hyperlapses, but he was the guy who brought it all together. And when I looked at his videos, I just wanted to learn how to do it. So I started from vlogging, and I would try making new videos at different locations. I would just keep on learning on YouTube again and again. Trial and error, as we were talking about in the beginning. You learned it from trial and error. I learned it from trial and error. But more than videography, more than anything else, the one thing that I've learned is if you want to learn anything in this world, it's always going to be through trial and error. No matter whom you get. I mean, you might get Warren Buffett to teach you how to invest, but if you don't go through trial and error, you will never learn. Well, coming back to the story, I kept on moving forward. I started making travel videos. There was always something that I would miss. Like we had a small glitch right now, a small technical error. There was always something that I would miss, and then in the beginning I would get disappointed that I wasn't good enough. But then later on I changed my mindset that it's not about making mistakes and getting ashamed of them. It's about making mistakes and learning from them. You either win or you either learn. You never lose. That's what I learned from videography, and I have been doing this since the last 5 years. Yeah, almost 5 years. I wasn't continuous. I've been continuous since the last 2 years, and even in those 2 years, I guess I was off for a month or two, and then I came back for a few months, and then I was off for a month or two, because I couldn't make this I don't want to make this my main thing, but I'd really love to keep it as a hobby. So that's it. That's how I have been in videography.
That's amazing. That's really, really amazing. How do you find the people to interview, and what makes you want to interview them, if I may ask? Because I was quite surprised when you approached me after that Toastmaster Thursday, and then you said, oh, you want to interview me? I mean, makes you think this person is someone I want to interview?
So you see, I started this YouTube channel around 5 years ago. I made my first video, I uploaded it. I wanted to become a tech YouTuber, but I slowly moved from places to places. From tech, I went to movies. From movies, I went to food. From food, I went to normal vlogging. From normal vlogging, I just gave this a try. I was talking to my friend one day in Nepal. His name is Koshish. He's the first guy whom I ever interviewed. And then I told him this idea and he really liked it. And he said, bro, you have to make me your first interviewee. I said, alright, we can do this. I called him at my house. We did an interview. Although it was the video is great, but then there were small glitches in the video. That's fine, but then still, slowly, I'm coming back to your question. How do I find people to interview? You see, you don't have to be big or famous to be interviewed, as per my philosophy. You just have to be skilled. And the best part is, everyone is skilled in something. Now, my first friend, he is a boxing champ. And then later on, in Toastmasters, I had a mentor. And I told her about this video and she said, alright, you can take my interview as well. So I called her up. We had an interview at a restaurant and it was good. And then I started making links slowly, piece by piece. And about finding people, one was through my gym and the other was Toastmasters. So these were the two major hubs where I would find people. Sure, I did get rejected a lot of times. It's not like every person wanted to get interviewed. Some people are shy. But then, through trial and error, as I said, just keep on asking, get rejected. Keep on asking, get rejected. Out of 5, at least one guy will say yes, or at least one girl will say yes. And that's how you'll get the people.
Interesting. I have a final question. The final question. Weren't you camera shy at the beginning? Because
oh my god, I was so camera shy. But the best and the worst part about vlogging is that it just brings out the shyness in you. In vlogging, I would vlog outside and people would look at me and I would have that tension. It's similar to public speaking. When you go up on the stage, you have that fright in the beginning. So what I did was same, trial and error. I'm going back to the same point. So what I would do is I would keep my camera on a tripod at my house and then I would start recording videos. I would aim for fluency and then I would just keep on recording it again and again. For example, I would practice my intro. Hey, and then I would cut it again. I would practice it again, and then finally I would get my intro right. Hey guys, this is Uday Kumar Shah talking to you from Nepal. And slowly, as time goes by, that camera shyness goes away. It's all about trial and error. And one more thing, you don't need good gear to shoot videos. It's always about practice. You have your phone, start shooting with this. And one day you'll reach to, I don't know, a Hollywood camera shoot.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Film director.
Film director, something like that. So it's all about trial and error and keep on practicing.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But all I want to say is thank you for coming all the way.
Oh, thanks. So, should we end it over here?
Yeah.
Alright. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching this video. Although it's been some time since I have made these videos, but then still, thanks for coming back. Pierre, please follow Pierre on. You've got Instagram?
No IG, no Facebook. They can visit our company page.
Alright, I'll link his company page down below. Do go to his website.
Yes.
Do check the properties in the Thailand. And then I'll see you soon in the next video. Thanks for watching and goodbye. Kapun Kap.